Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of 410 Sports Talk. I'm James Haskell, along with my co-host Glenn Martin and DK in the background, and we're here today, as you can see in the title, talk about ESPN's way too early ranked power rankings of the NFL's upcoming season. But before we dig into it and give you our reaction, take a second and do a few things. One, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, it would be a great appreciation from us. Also, turn your notifications so you stay up to date. Obviously, it's the off season, so there's a lot of stuff going down, a lot of drama, and we're going to keep you up to date on it. A lot of moving pieces to this roster. And then, of course, if you're on the road, anywhere you want to listen to your podcast, you guys can find us as well if you're not able to view it at that time. So go make sure to subscribe anywhere you listen to your podcast as well. But Glenn, the list came out. I think you mentioned this. ESPN compiled this through a whole consortium of guys, gals, folks that are media writers for them. 80 of them, and they've put this list together, come to a consensus. So let's get to the big reveal here, and let's get this reaction. DK, what do you got for us, dude? All right,
here we are. As you can see there, 80 let's see, writers, editors, and TV personalities all evaluated the teams and came up with this list, top to bottom, 1 through 32. Your NFL team. Let's see who brings in number one.
Ho! The Baltimore Ravens. Glenn, are you surprised?
A bit. Yeah, I'm a bit. I mean, I'm not surprised in the sense that I knew we'd be up at near the top, but a bit surprised that we're at the very tippity top. I mean, number one, look, this is a very talented team, a team that's drafted really well in the last few years. So they got a great core. And they got their quarterback locked up. So it makes sense that they're at the top. But, yeah, I got to say I'm a little surprised to put them just because I thought the more, the Super Bowl favorites would just be penciled in unless there was some.
Yeah, you're the best till you're not.
Yeah, unless this was like when Tom Brady was retiring from Tampa and they took a massive drop. That I understand. But, I mean, I'm just a little bit surprised that the Ravens were not third or second or – no, they got him number one. Were you shocked at all?
A little shocked here. I'll also agree with you. It also shows you that, look, the media still doesn't like the Ravens. They decide, we'll give them credit now. When it doesn't matter, it means two piles of beans.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? It's exactly what it's like here, guys. This is worth nothing, but we'll give you this consolation prize. Thanks. Right? Yeah. Like, after all season of excuses on excuses as to why, you don't want to say good things about the Ravens for a lot of folks. All of a sudden, they're number one. Great. But no, I was a little surprised. But I think what this speaks to, Glenn, is a few things. One, respect for Lamar Jackson. Two, the Ravens' ability to draft well, like you mentioned. But also, three, if you look at DK, if it's okay with you guys, I want to scroll down a little bit and look at just the top five and to kind of solidify my comment. If you look at the Chiefs, the Niners, respectively, obviously they should be there. Detroit, sort of. And then who's fifth? Is it the Bills? For some reason, I thought it was the Dolphins. I'm glad it was the Bills. But now if we go back to the Ravens, the reason I think the Ravens are number one ultimately here is that if you compare the core of each one of those teams, I think the Ravens probably have the least amount of questions. I know we got a lot of questions, but like, look, you can say which one about Metabike, but what are the Chiefs doing with Chris Jones?
It looks like the early predictions are that he's not going to be there.
Right. So I
their defense is wildly different with him not on the field.
And how many years can they continue to win with just Travis Kelce?
Who's another year older?
Right. And so and then the Niners, I would feel bad. I feel really bad for Niners fans because I feel like that team was bought, not built. Now I know that they have some draft picks that have done well for them as well, but they're I don't know how all the contracts are, but based on how a lot of their contributors were built, that roster's fluid, at least from outside looking in. I'm not sure how all that's going to go down. Now, having Brett Purdy, under a cheap contract helps, but my point here in a million words is simply that I think the Ravens have the best existing core as of today and the least amount of questions, just my opinion. So I think that's why they made the Ravens number one, outside the fact that they just got their quarterback was MVP again.
Yeah, that certainly helps. And the youth across the roster at key positions, I think helps as well. I mean, it's kind of like you said, Jimbo. It's like it's cool to see in a sense because Of course, Ravens fans need to do everything they can to turn the page to next season. And this is an early peak that at least indicates that ESPN thinks the Ravens are going to be pretty damn good. And we were entertained this year by the team. I think we all went on a beautiful ride with them. And maybe this is an indication that next season will be just as fun. Let's hope it ends a little bit better. But I think the reason that they're up there, you mentioned it. You mentioned all the things as far as the draft, the young core, but also the way this team has hit on free agents as of late.
Mm-hmm.
It's been impressive. I mean, what they did from the defensive side of the ball, bringing in guys on the edge like Clowney and Van Noy. On the offensive side of the ball, bringing in key veterans. Look, Odell wasn't a huge stat guy, but I think his impact was felt in a big, big way, no doubt about it. And then also in the trade market, I mean, when's the last time Eric DeCosta didn't win a trade? I mean, every single year it seems like he pulls off another gem, and so I'm sure that went into this, prediction as well. We are in good hands here with this front office. There's always going to be turnover, no matter what team you're a fan of, but knowing that we have Eric DeCosta, Ozzie Newsome, at kind of spearheading our roster, it makes me feel good at least that I never have to worry about being a team like the Carolina Panthers, who, spoiler alert, are number 32 on this list. We don't have to worry about turning into the Commanders anytime soon, or the Cardinals, who are constantly finding themselves in the top 5 of drafts. It's as frustrating as the loss was, and it hurt. At least we know that next year they're going to be competing again, and they'll have another shot at hopefully dethroning that daggone Patrick Mahomes and them stinking ass Chiefs.
Yeah. No, I agree with you there. Now also I want to take a quick look at the guys that are in the other teams that are at least in our division.
Yeah.
I think it would make sense. So, we got the top 5, which we talked about, but if we go down the list, let's spot the next AFC North. Really quickly, I'm surprised the Dolphins are this high, just my opinion. Just mine. But all right, DK, let's keep going here. Dallas Cowboys 7. Where's the next AFC North guy? Philly 8, Texans 9, Packers. Okay, so coming in at 11, we got the Cleveland Browns.
Look at their offseason in 3 words, Jimbo.
Get Watson right.
I loved it. I love that they can do nothing about that. I love it.
Yeah, I don't, look, and we called it. We called this a long time ago. I don't know if this guy ever truly does require or ever does recover, excuse me. But yeah, no, they got some serious problems when Joey Flacco seems to be a better option coming off the couch than your franchise quarterback. So they're in at 11 though, Glenn.
Yeah.
And look,
are you surprised that they're the second AFC North team? They're the team.
I'm
a bit surprised it wasn't the Bengals.
Only because I feel like the Bengals got questions too, right? Like I know Joe didn't have a lower leg injury or lower extremity injury, anything like that, but what happened? They had struggles defensively. They started the season rough last year, and I know they started coming on, but they got 2 divas that they got to pay. Does that cause issues? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
what goes on there? So, and look, the Browns defense is the Browns defense as of this point, right? Like that's they got beat pretty bad by the Texans, but Joe threw 2 pick sixes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you can't do that.
No. So yeah, Cleveland comes in at 11. All right, let's keep going here and see let's see if we can find the Bengals. All right, Bengals in at 13. What's your take on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I thought, to me, I would put them higher than the Browns only because
they got the quarterback right.
Yeah, I mean, you got a $64 million quarterback in Cleveland who was at best, I would say, I guess you could say at best is their second best quarterback, but it was pretty clear that Joe Flacco was the best, and he was their 4th option last year. And that cap number is higher this year than it's been to this point. And the next 3 years, it's $64 million. So I just don't know how you can manage around that unless that $64 million guy is so special that he raises the play of those around him. And he's not even good enough. He is a below average quarterback. So he's certainly not good enough to raise the level around him. Whereas I think Joe Burrow does have that ability. It looks like they're going to tag T. Higgins, which, could keep this group together at least one more season. And we'll see, if injuries and if the Ravens have anything to say about them making any noise. But It's so weird. Every year I want to write off the Steelers, but as you scroll down, let me see where we're at
let's
here.
see where we're at.
It
Oh,
almost
Steelers.
feels like the NFL wants to also, but
yeah.
But dude, I'm sorry. If you want to give me right now early odds on saying that the Steelers are going to finish better than the 18th best team, I'm taking it. I'm taking them, bro. I don't know who their quarterback is. I don't think he's on their team. But man, I still think by year's end next year, we're going to see that the AFC North is going to remain the toughest division in football.
Yeah, I agree. Justin Fields or Russell Wilson.
Oh, that's a good one. I hope it's not Justin Fields. I hope it's Russell Wilson.
Yeah, so your preference then, if you were the GM, you would rather have Fields?
Oh, sure. He's got so much more. We don't even know his ceiling yet. We know the ceiling is done and gone when it comes to Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess he has the higher floor. Do you say that?
I don't even know. He's played pretty poorly. And I think the floor is high with Justin because of his legs.
Good point.
You know what I mean? I think that keeps that proverbial floor high because if worst case scenario, he can always kill you with his legs.
Yeah, and they did bring in a new offensive coordinator, Arthur Smith from the Atlanta Falcons, who, was pretty good when he had Derrick Henry in his backfield with the Tennessee Titans, and he was able to just run him 40 times a game. Mm-hmm. But we'll see what he's got with your boy.
Najee Harris is no Derrick Henry. Speaking of Derrick Henry, we'll see where he ends up.
Yeah, a lot of speculation around them as well. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's all at the end of the day, it's always cool to see the Ravens get any type of love nationally because it seems like it's difficult for those national media.
Yeah, we appreciate the consolation prize. DK saying maybe he goes to Pitt. DK, maybe he comes to Baltimore.
Yeah, why would he go to Pitt, man?
With Najee
and Warren?
Yeah, nice dude. If he ends up in the AFC North, it's right here, baby. And him and Lamar in the backfield would be a nightmare.
That's true. It'd be exciting to see. But are you guys like Jimmy, or is this just a consolation prize? Is this some people may call this salt in the wound by ESPN? And I know that Chris Jones echoed these sentiments in saying that the Ravens were the best team, which didn't make me feel any better when I heard him say it either. So let us know what you guys think about these way too early power rankings in the comments below, and we'll talk soon.
See ya. This episode was brought to you by none other than our great partner, BetUS. Glenn, we've been rocking with these guys for a while, and it's really simple why. They are the OGs in the space. They have a wide variety of options, season-long bets, all major sports, player bets, over-unders, prop bets, everything above and under the sun. They will match up to 125%, up to $2,500 for your initial bet. Use the link in the description or type in the promo code 410 on BetUS. But go check them out. Use the promo code below, and we'll talk to you guys soon.